The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets lose to the Ravens. No one's surprised. What actually happened? Let's talk about it. Postgame show. It starts right now.
We look forward to getting ready to compete against the Ravens and go try to win us a game. So any questions? Why are you laughing?
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines of every game and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Please hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Post-game show, and the New York Jets have lost to the Ravens. 23-10, the final score. Jets fall to 2-9 on the season. Very depressing stat they shared during the game. It is now the 10th consecutive losing season for the Jets. So forget the playoff drought. 10 years in a row of not having a winning record. The last time the Jets had a winning record was the 2015 season when Ryan Fitzpatrick was the quarterback. They have not won more than 7 games in the season, oh, by the way, since then. So, look, I didn't think the Jets were going to win today. They did show some fight. They did compete. They just made ultimately too many mistakes at the end of the day to actually win this game. You know, they led at halftime in this one, right? 7-3. The defense, I thought, played a really strong half. They were competitive early, and then whether it was some poor coaching decisions, which we will get into, some offensive miscues, the brutal fumble late by Brace, they just did not make enough plays and made too many mistakes in the second half to actually win this game. A game that if they had won, it would clearly be the signature win of the Aaron Glenn era. Instead, they lose. And the craziest stat beyond, 10 straight losing seasons, how about the fact that the Jets are now 0-6 when they score first? Hard to believe. You score first, you give yourself typically a great chance to win, unless you're the Jets, of course. So, disappointing to say the least. The Jets, I thought, did some really nice things early in this one. They just ultimately, they're not good enough to overcome mistakes. And I thought really there were 3 plays in this game that ultimately contributed to the loss for the Jets. I start with the Tyrod Taylor sack that he took at the end of the first half, right? That knocked the Jets out of field goal range in this one. That cost them at least 3 points right there. Right? Nick Folk has not missed all year. You never want to assume things, but he has been so good this season that I thought the sack at the end there was such a critical play, and that just can't happen. Right? The Jets were at the Ravens 39-yard line. It was a 3rd and 2 with 38 seconds to go. And Taylor takes the sack by Jones of Baltimore. And instead of having a possible field goal attempt there that could have put you up 10-3 at halftime, you punt back to the Ravens, and that's all she wrote. I thought that was one of the defining plays. Then, second half, to me, there were 2 plays that totally flipped this game. And one of them is directly on the head coach. Aaron Glenn's 4th and 2 decision when the Jets are at their own 42. I thought that in real time was an atrocious decision. It felt like it was predetermined that Aaron Glenn was just going to go for it, right? They called the run on 3rd down. Okay, if you're going to call the run on 3rd down, you're setting yourself up to go for it on 4th down. But I just don't think you show a real feel for the game at that point. This is a low-scoring game where you're in it, right? Take the temperature of the game. I didn't think the Jets needed to be that aggressive there. To kind of follow along Glenn's logic, it's not like that was their plan throughout the game. In the first half, they weren't aggressive in a similar spot. Remember, they ran it on 3rd down as well? Then they lined up on 4th down, and instead of actually going for it, they just took the delay call, then punted it back to Baltimore. Like, there was no consistency with what Glenn's decision-making was going to be. Are they going to be aggressive or are they going to be conservative? It felt like in that moment, after you already chose to punt earlier in the game at a similar spot, going for it at your own 42 and giving Baltimore a short field didn't make any sense to me. And then what do the Ravens do? Well, they go right down the field and they score a touchdown, and that essentially put the game out of reach. And then the last play to me of the three that truly decided the game, the Brees fumble at the goal line. I mean, at minimum, they have 3 points on that drive. They likely were going to score a touchdown there. They were going to have 7 points. But that fumble by Brees was a killer. No other way around it. And I'm a Brees Hall fan. I want him re-signed. He was having a really good game today. Nice to finally see the Jets utilize Brees in the passing attack. Too little, too late as far as that this season. But with Tyrod, at least there was a clear effort to check it down to Brees and let him make plays. I thought Brees ran hard today. But that fumble was catastrophic. It was. Only the second fumble that Brees has had all year, but if you think about it, both of them have just been in devastating spots. The first one was when the Jets were driving to get back into the game against the Dallas Cowboys at MetLife. That was in Week 5. And the one today was brutal. Now, he had 6 fumbles a year ago, only 2 so far this year. So that has not been a huge problem for Brees this year, but that obviously was just a devastating turnover in that spot. Brees, to me, is still a really good running back. I still want him on this team. He is more valuable to the Jets than he would be elsewhere. But that can't happen. So again, really the 3 plays to me that defined this game. Tyrod taking that sack, knocking them out of field goal range. That cost him 3 points. I thought Glenn's 4th and 2 decision was just completely just out of bounds. Not the right move in that spot. A good friend of mine covers the Ravens and texted me, "What is your head coach doing?" Like the feel for the game told you don't go for it there. You gave the Ravens a short field and basically a free 7 points after that. There was such a clear momentum swing after that, right? If you go for it at your own 42 and don't get it, what are you doing? And then obviously the Brees fumble. So overall takeaways, the Jets showed effort. They showed fight. I can't criticize the compete effort by the Jets. The defense played a really good first half. Tyrod Taylor brought some competency to the quarterback spot. He wasn't special. Made a couple plays. Made some plays with his legs. Made a couple really nice throws. Like, he was not bad, but he's just a guy. Is he better than Fields at this point? I still say yes. But I think ultimately we know the answer with Tyrod Taylor. The Jets need a quarterback. Their quarterback of the future is not on this team. I could have told you that probably before the year started, but we know what this now is. I think Taylor is going to compete. It looked like he got banged up in this one, but did, finish the game. So we'll see. You never know with him. He's truly, made of glass where, if it's too windy, you worry about him getting hurt. But, there was some baseline competency, I would say, to the quarterback spot. It just wasn't enough. Clearly, Lamar Jackson of the Ravens is compromised. He's not 100%. He was not running with that same explosiveness that we're accustomed to seeing. And the Jets, to their credit, took advantage of that, and they hung around in this one. But ultimately, they didn't play a clean enough game. Bad coaching decisions, situational mistakes. I don't know why a guy like Tony Adams is still regularly playing. I don't know why we're wasting time with Allen Lazard getting reps out there. It just, things like that still annoy you. The turnover late by Brees was brutal, and it was another loss. I mean, am I going to sit here and scream and yell? Like, maybe at some point I'll get angry at someone during this post-game show, but what is there really to say, right? I didn't think the Jets were going to go out there and win today. They fought. They hung around. I don't like the Glenn mistake with the 4th and 2, but they're just not good enough to beat the Ravens on the road, even with the Ravens not being the traditional Ravens we're accustomed to seeing. We're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Look, the Jets closed as a 13.5-point underdog. And you know what? They did cover the line. So there's that. They lose 23-20. So if you bet the Jets on FanDuel, well, there you go. You did cover. But look, there were some positives today. I think Jawan Briggs is a real player for this team. I was really impressed by what he did today. I was really impressed with how Quincy Williams, I thought, played today. I know he's probably not back next year, but man, like, he's a good player. Are we sure we can't find a way to keep him? Also, if you notice, he was basically getting guys lined up on defense today. I thought he played a really good game. I thought there were some real positives from some of these young receivers. I mean, John Mechie again scoring another touchdown today. Love seeing that. Can he be a number 3 receiver for you next year? I think he's in the. I think he should be brought back and be a part of the team. A.D. Mitchell, we know, is under contract. He's a former second-round pick in 2024, so he's still under contract for 2 more years. I'd like to see him brought back. He had 42 yards today. They got to figure out a way to get him the ball more. He was targeted 7 times and only had 2 catches, but 21 yards per reception on average is pretty good. All right, Mason Taylor made a couple plays today. You still want to get him more involved. But again, seeing Breece Hall utilized in the receiving game today, that's what you want to see. Get Breece involved in the passing game. 4 catches for 75 yards. I thought overall this game was kind of what I expected. I can't sit here and scream and yell that the Jets lost by 13 to the Ravens when, the spread was 13.5, and I didn't think the Jets were going to win. So it's not exactly a game that I look at and go, wow, I'm devastated. I'm crushed. To me, a lot of what we saw today was expected. If you want to find positives, you can. If you still want to be down in the dumps about this team, ultimately you can. In the big picture, I don't think we learned a ton about the Jets here. I think we still kind of feel the same way that we did about them going into the game. Now, for what it's worth, and the late window games are just starting right now, the Jets technically have moved into the number 2 spot in the NFL draft. Now, I fully expect the Jets to win another game or 2 and probably finish with 4 wins. And if that happens, if they're picking around 4 to 6, let's say, I fully expect the Jets, if they like a quarterback, and I suspect they will like at least someone, I fully expect the Jets to move up and take someone. I do. I don't think the New York Jets can afford to wait on the quarterback for another year. I don't think Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are guaranteed at 2027 if they go out there and they win, let's say, 5 or 6 games in 2026. Let's say they win 6 games next year. They win 6 games after they win 4 this year. Are we talking about a Jets team that has 10 total wins through 2 years, and then Glenn and Muji are guaranteed a 3rd year? I'm not so sure about that. They need to get the quarterback. And I think we've even seen this year that in most games, it's not like the Jets have just been dominated and they don't have a chance. If they actually could hit on a quarterback, and this is the biggest if ever if you're a Jet fan, they could actually turn it around and be relevant. We see other teams do it often. Like the Jets clearly have other holes, but I don't think they've quit on the coach. So give Glenn credit for that. I think they're still playing hard. And I think there is some talent here. The offensive line is legit. Armand Membu and Olu Fashanu are legit. Joe Tippmann is legit. You have Garrett Wilson. Throw Mitchell and Mechie into that room. You could find another receiver. You have a tight end. I'm going to give the Jets the benefit of the doubt that because they didn't trade Breece Hall, that means they're going to keep Breece Hall. Whether they tag him or they extend him, you're not starting from nothing if we give them the benefit of the doubt that Breece is here next year. There's some good football players on this team. They don't have a quarterback, though. I have major questions about the head coach still, but he's not going anywhere. So as a Jet fan, we all have to root for him and hope that he continues to show signs of improvement. I wish he was more consistent with the game management and clock management. And that also includes the offensive coordinator, who I know people like Engstrand, and at times there's things that he's done really well. There's guys being schemed open. One major criticism that I have from this game today, how is Breece Hall not on the field on that 3rd and 4th down sequence that I was criticizing Glenn for, right? 4th and 2, I didn't love going for it. But if you're going to go for it, don't you need to get Breece Hall involved on either the 3rd down play or the 4th down play, right? He's the Jets' best player right now on the offensive side of the ball. So if you want a legit criticism, how is Breece Hall not involved in the passing attack or the rushing attack on the 3rd or 4th down sequence there? I know he had the fumble late in the game, but man, there was an opportunity there to get Breece involved in those plays. But ultimately, look, it is what it is. They lose by 13. They showed some fight. They hung around for a half. And the Jets just aren't good enough to win these games, man. They got to get the quarterback situation figured out. And look, I'll criticize the defense again for this. It's like you almost expect it now, but it's not normal. The Jets now have broken the record for most games to start a year without an interception. They've broken an NFL record for that. And it's not even like they come close to coming up with turnovers. They have 1 turnover all year. It happened in London. That's it. If there's anything from the season that has to change going into 2026 beyond, the obvious, the Jets need to find a different quarterback plan for next year. They also need a new defensive coordinator. If Aaron Glenn's not going anywhere, then he needs to make sure that he changes his defensive play caller. All right? Steve Wilks cannot return. He can't. I mean, there's players on this defense. Certainly less players now than what they had when they traded Sauce and Quinnen. But the defense was bad in the first half of the year. They were on pace to allow most points in Jets franchise history through the first 5 weeks. This defense has been a problem all year. All year. If they were able to get a couple stops at the beginning of the year, the whole tenor of the season could have been different. But they couldn't. And they don't force turnovers. They don't make any game-changing plays. And it's just tough to win that way, especially when you're on the road as nearly a 2-touchdown underdog. You got to create a short field for your offense. The Jets don't have the ability to just have like a quick strike touchdown. They don't. Their only home run hitter is Breece Hall. That's really it. All the Jets scores this year are like long, methodical drives. So you need your defense to set your offense up with a short field. The Jets' special teams has impacted winning more than the Jet defense has this year. The special teams, which has been great basically all season, even won them a game almost single-handedly against Cleveland a few weeks ago by scoring twice, once on a kickoff and once on a punt return. The Jet defense forgets scoring. They never even put the offense in position to score. So, look, ultimately, the Jets just aren't on the Ravens level, but I don't think they're as far away from being a relevant team if they could get the quarterback. But you know what? That's the biggest if, and I understand any Jet fan who's hesitant to believe in Aaron Glenn and Darren Mucci to get that decision right when they were so wrong on Justin Fields and the way they talked about coaching up Fields and how he's never been coached properly and we're going to let him play quarterback. And Mucci compared him to Darnold and Baker Mayfield, and it blew up in their face in such spectacular fashion. I understand the hesitancy, but I'm telling you, man, year to year, things change in the NFL all the time. It's just the Jets that never could be a part of the change. And that's what's so frustrating. Like, there's all this parity in the league, yet it's never the Jets who could be a part of that. As we get beaten down with the stat that it's now the 10th consecutive losing season for the Jets. But, man, it's just depressing to look around the league because the AFC has had such a different look than what we saw in the playoffs last year. All 4 of the division leaders are different than last year's division champs. Denver, New England, the Colts, Pittsburgh. Only 3 of the 7 teams entering today in the top 7 in the conference made the playoffs last year. Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and the Chargers. The Chiefs, Ravens, and Texans were 3 of the final 4 teams in the AFC last season. And they're all either 6-5 or 5-5 entering today, occupying 8 through 10 in the conference. So you have all these changes, all the parity, and it's still never the Jets. And that's a bummer, man. That's a real bummer. But again, thank you to the diehard Jet fans who are tuned into the show, win or lose, tuned in year round. You're a true diehard Jet fan if you're watching a post-game show immediately after a 23-10 loss where the Jets dropped the 2-9 on the year. So thank you for that. Hit the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We got a raffle coming up in just a few days. Raffle number 50. Make sure you enter by gifting a channel membership or sending in a $10 super chat or higher. As a thank you for watching, we will do a little +2 on all gifted memberships and super chats that qualify. Give people a chance to win a signed Nick Mangold football, a signed Armand Membu jersey, and prize 3 is a signed Wayne Corbett football. So we're boosting memberships and boosting super chats. Going to get to your calls as well. Just a quick reminder that if you ever missed the live YouTube show, it is available in podcast form on either Apple or Spotify. Just search The Jake Asman Show, and you'll find it there. Also, please, if you see any phony tweets from my ex account at Jake Asman about crypto or any other nonsense that's clearly not me, please, please, please report it as spam immediately. I have been locked out of my X/Twitter account for 3 days and counting since Thursday morning. So if you see a fakakta tweet like this one about my new car that I apparently purchased, please report it. I've been locked out. I reported it to Twitter. I am stuck right now, just waiting to hear back. I don't know when I'm going to get access to my account again. So if you're wondering why I didn't live tweet today's game, well, Now you know if you're just tuning into the show. So please report these tweets for spam. I'm told the more people that report the phony tweets, the more likely X will recognize my request to get my account back and do something about it. So, again, please help me out. I wish I had this truck on the screen. It looks wonderful, but I've been hacked. And apparently, the hacker is somewhere in France. That's all I know. All right. Appreciate all of you tuned in. Let me get to some super chats, and we'll take plenty of your calls here on the postgame show. The Gusbuster Umbrella hotline link is pinned in the chat. Again, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's say hello first to the super chat here from our guy, Tyrone Garcia in the house. Tyrone says, another game lost by stupidity by the coaches. Please pray Hall Mendoza will need him. The receivers look good. Oh, please pay Hall. Mendoza will need him. Receivers look good also. We need to let Cook play so we could see if all three QBs need to be cut at the end of 2025. I don't think it's Brady Cook time just yet. I think they'll roll with Tyrod for a couple more weeks. But look, anytime Tyrod plays, there's a chance he gets hurt. And I'll say it again. I have seen enough of Justin Fields, right? If there's an injury to Tyrod Taylor, the quarterback that should be starting for the Jets should be Brady Cook. I don't care if he's not ready. I'd rather just play him, and if I lose, at least I'm getting a better draft pick than playing Justin Fields in games that are utterly meaningless. That's where I'm at. So I don't disagree with the idea of getting Brady Cook ready to go. Michael with a super chat. Now I'm stuck down here with all these Baltimoreans. Ugh, 10 years. Jeez. Hey, I feel your pain, Michael. The Jets didn't embarrass themselves today, for what it's worth. I mean, they did lead at halftime. I guess I could play the moral victory drop on myself, but they weren't killed today. They hung in there. Taylor is in the raffle. We're boosting all super chats, so this is 7 raffle tickets instead of 5. This team makes me sick. Taylor, I feel you, man. I really do. We just got to hope that they actually could get the quarterback in the draft correct. However they do it. Trading up, someone falls to them. Because this doesn't change without competent quarterback play. There's still major concerns with the coaching, but there is so much for them to figure out if they get the quarterback. It's a lot easier to figure all these things out. That really is the bottom line. All right, calls coming up now on the Gusbuster Umbrella hotline. A lot of you want in on the conversation, so I am certainly grateful for that. If you are not on hold, I can't go to you, so make sure you click the link, join the green room, and we will bring you up on the screen. First up today is one of our favorites. Stop what you're doing and get ready to sing.
Get ready for Neil. He will make 13 points about the New York Jets and maybe hump a Patriots jersey. Get ready for Neil. He's probably smoking a big fat cigar and burning his house to the ground. That's Neil.
Jake, my brother.
Hello, Neil. How we feeling?
Oh, jeez, the pain. It's just the pain.
Is it pain? I was actually more kind of numb today. In fact, I'm home on Long Island for the weekend because I was at the wonderful Matt O'Leary wedding last night. And congrats again to Matt and Taylor on their wedding. Awesome to be hanging out with Green Bean, Ryan, Jeremy, Jets Chaos, Richie, and all that. But my mom said to me, she's like, "Are the Jets winning? I don't hear you yelling or anything." And I go,
Right.
They're beating me down. I just sat there in silence.
I know.
For most of the game. I'm just numb at this point.
I get it. Is my compadre in the studio there, Mr. Peter Castro?
He is
By
not
chance?
currently on hold. No, he is
Okay,
not.
so let me ramble through my 13 points, and I'm making all 13, so stay tuned.
All right.
First of all, no throws downfield unless the throws are near the boundary or out of bounds. I want throws in the middle of the field if they're going to go long. So you can get a PI like we got with our friend, Mr. Adams. He had a really nice pass interference there to cost us a touchdown. And I don't understand why I see number 22 still on this team and certainly should never be on the field. And our safety play is the worst in the NFL by a wide margin. Agree?
I think the Jets safety play is putrid, and I think Tony Adams is terrible. I agree.
Putrid. No rollouts for Tyrod Taylor. He sits in the pocket like he's a 40-year-old Flacco. I can't understand why, Jake, that they insist on not having any rollouts when they have an opportunity. He rolled out one time. He sat up. He could have thrown a long ball downfield. Anytime you roll him out, it's at least a 3 or 4 yard game. If you're going to have a 4th and 2, back to that play where Brees was off the field on the 4th and 2 you mentioned earlier, which was, to me, mind-boggling that he even went for it. But when we finally had a good defense today, and the Ravens, the first half, had no answers for us. No Brees on the field, and then he drops back and tries to throw a ball to Mason Taylor. I mean, come on, man. That was a horrible play call. I got to tell you something. Angstram's play calling in the first half of this game was abysmal. Okay? I don't give a shit what anybody says. This guy is not a guarantee to come back as an offensive coordinator. He is left tackle run, right tackle this. Listen, we did a jet sweep again today, Jake, right? 12-yard gain. Beautiful. Did we see it again the entire game? No. First half, how many screen passes did we throw, Jake, in the first half? 0. What do we wait? We wait till the fourth quarter when the game is on the line to finally get Brees the freaking football? And on third down, when it's a passing down, why is Brees Hall your best receiver on the sideline?
That bothered me the most today. Look, Engstrand is not perfect. I think people talk about him in a higher regard because of how bad Wilkes has been. So I agree with a lot of that. I also think his hands are tied for a lot of the year with Fields as his quarterback. It was not a good fit from the beginning. I want to see more games with him and Tyrod, because to me, a lot of what you're saying is fair. I also think they need to just find better ways to get Brees involved in the passing game, which they started to do today. I need to see more of that. It's been too little, too late all year in that regard.
And you have to get Mason Taylor involved downfield. I just was flipping on the Giant game. The best receiver they have is their tight end. I think the guy had 120 yards receiving today because he's going downfield and catching the ball instead of these little dink and dunks, 5 and 6 yards to try and get a first down and have him yak his way up to the first down marker. Now, defensively, okay, Sherwood is atrocious. The worst linebacker in the NFL is Sherwood, okay? First of all, he has a clear shot at Lamar, jumps up, and Lamar ducks under him. He should have had a sack there. That was a drive changer. Instead, they scored a touchdown. Jake, was that a horrible play?
Yeah, I mean, again, the defense hung around today, but they never impact the game because they never create a turnover. And you don't have a chance to win as a 2-touchdown underdog on the road if you don't win the turnover battle.
And Lamar was standing right there and took the hit and just shrugged them off.
Yep.
He was a 150-pound cornerback.
He's been terrible. I can't defend Sherwood. And that's on Glennon and this regime because they chose to bring him back. So clearly they felt like, hey, good young player. We can coach him for our scheme. And if you're going to tell me people that call in and say, oh, well, he's not a scheme fit. Well, they should have known that and not have paid him. That's on them for giving him the contract when Quincy Williams is a much better player than Jamie Sherwood at this point.
Let me tell you something. The best linebacker we have is not a linebacker. Bromley had the best game of any tackler on the team. He was taking on Derrick Henry. He was making plays in the backfield. He was hitting guys all over the field, and he's 40 pounds less than Quincy and Sherwood, and he hits like a man, okay? These guys, Sherwood, not only can he tackle, not only can he goddamn blitz, he can't cover either. He doesn't do anything good, Jake. It's not a single thing that Sherwood does that I could say is anything. Stevens, okay, he had a bad game. He did make a couple tackles. I think A.Z. Thomas had a really good game. I think he's a good corner. I like he made one or two plays where he got burned a little bit. But would you agree? AZ looks pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think he was bad today. I mean, he competes out there. Again, to me, the Jets' biggest issues defensively is it starts with the defensive coordinator. The scheme is terrible. It's archaic. It's predictable. And it's also personnel too. They got to completely revamp the safety room. They got to fix the linebacker room. The edge depth outside of the first two guys, and McDonald and Jermaine, is terrible. Like there's obvious things they could do to fix this defense. But to me, Neil, the biggest thing is the defensive coordinator. Steve Wilkes said this week they're still having communication issues. It's
I
week
know,
12, man. We can't have communication.
How about when they were running guys onto the field and substituting on the 2-yard line and Henry walked in? That is unacceptable. At this stage, although I will say I put that one on the refs, Jake, because they never give us a goddamn break. I will say this. In the second half, I noticed the refs giving a lot of – when they hit – you don't ever take a hit out of bounds on Brees and then pick the flag up on that and stick with the holding call. Okay?
Oh, that was unbelievable.
That was bad. That looked like the fix was in on that one. And I'm going to tell you another thing.
I mean, Neil, Brees got thrown into the Ravens bench after the play by 3 seconds. The flag comes out. The refs pick it up, and they say there's only one penalty on the play on the
Jets.
What are we talking about? And also, Tyrod Taylor, he got absolutely demolished on a play. And if it was any other team's quarterback, they call roughing there, where there was clear helmet-to-helmet contact around Tyrod's chin, and they didn't call that one either. So I'm not a blame the refs guy, but we all know this if you watch the Jets. The Jets never get the benefit of the doubt from the officiating 95% of the time, it feels like.
Now, in the first half, there was a lot of our pass protection is top-notch. If we had a real quarterback there, and I'm not saying Tyrod is not real, he's just not that good. The reality is he had a ton of time back there.
He did.
And the fact that, see, those are the kind of plays, he was not even looking at his outlet, his check down. He doesn't look, and there's another situation where you can have Brees out there. Again, no screens, no jet sweeps. Last point, and I'm done. Okay? Special teams. What's this guy's name? Ngagwu? I can't even say his name.
Kene Nwanu.
Ananwu, okay?
Close enough.
Oh, wait, and the other guy is Williams, right?
Isaiah Williams, yep.
Okay, I'm a special teams coordinator, okay? They're kicking away from Ngagwu every time there's a kick. True?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we line both of them up together and not let them not show where the one is going until after the guy kicks the ball? Because when they kick the ball off, it's a high kick, Jake. So it gives the returner plenty of time to get under it. This way, Ngagwu could get a couple of goddamn kick returns instead of just blocking. Okay, you got the best kick returner in football, and all they do is put him on one side, and the kick team kicks to the other side. I mean, this is the kind of shit that any moron could come up with, and this is what they don't do. I mean, I'm watching this game long enough. I just am telling you, it's mistake after mistake after mistake. I am not convinced on his coaching staff. Wilkes is a effing train wreck, okay? Angstram's got to show me something. And, to be continued. I don't know what we have next week.
These goddamn exploding cigars. Gotta go, Jake. I'll call back later. Shit.
Can't say I wasn't fair, Neil. You got all 13 points in, baby. Hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Dave Brigga wants to know what flavor of the mashed potatoes was my favorite at the O'Leary wedding last night. I will do a full wedding recap on our shows tomorrow, Dave. I'll talk more in depth on this. I also have some funny videos I'll show. I'll save that for our shows this week. But I can tell you there was one bacon mashed potato at the mashed potato bar that was just tremendous. Also, shout out to the O'Learys for having steak or short rib part of the cocktail hour, and they had Peter Luger sauce with it with cream spinach and mac and cheese. That to me was my personal highlight. of the happy hour. So a little teaser for you on some of the food I ate at the O'Leary wedding last night. All right, more of your calls right now. Appreciate everyone who wants in today. Barbarossa is next on our show. What's up, Barbarossa? How are you doing?
Hey guys, doing all right, I guess, all things considered. I mean, the Colts lost, so I guess we can find a silver lining in today. But I mean, I just don't understand what the hell's going on. Like, Angstrom was like in the first half was abysmal. Just the first half was really abysmal, and I just really
Yep.
I don't like just some of these play call like you're gonna go like or they're running it on 3rd and 7, and then they don't go for it on 4th down, like the 50 or whatever yard line. Like just I don't know.
There's no consistency with what they're trying to do. So, and I brought this up earlier, right? First half, they ultimately, after running it on, what was it, like 3rd and 7, I think, and then they decide, okay, we're going to line up to go for it, but actually we're not. We're going to take the delay and punt it back. Okay, so are we going with a conservative game plan today? Fine. But then you can't go for it if you're Aaron Glenn in the second half of this game at the Jets' 42-yard line in that spot. So be consistent. Like, have a plan and stick to it. The Lions, for example, Dan Campbell is going to be aggressive and always go for it. The Jets, like, they waver whether they want to be aggressive or not be aggressive. To me, it's stick to your game plan and stop changing it on the fly. And it just, to me, once again, it shows to be a coach that's still learning. He's not with it. He doesn't have a feel for the game a lot of times in the moment.
Yeah, it's coaching. I was just gonna say it's coaching. Like someone who does that, and I can tell you, someone who, whether as an educator or as a coach, like someone who can't decide on where they want to go with whatever their plan is, it's just bad. Like it's not going to be good, no matter what you decide to do. You can't halfway any of this crap, and it's just disappointing. It's just really disappointing to just see kind of like the overall decision making. I mean, like, especially the play you brought up, just with like going for it and then punting, like it was like the biggest tease in the world. It just was such a frustrating thing to watch. Um, and they're just like Lamar Jackson looks so off, and I just feel like the way our defense played like just helped him kind of find his rhythm in the second half, and it was just frustrating, man. I don't know. I don't. This didn't do well with Angstrom for me at all. But I don't want Wilkes back. Can't get another turnover, and we get Brees Hall who fumbles again. Like on the goal line. Like this is just a kind of another kind of shitstorm of Jets things that happened in that game, and that's kind of why we lost. But we covered the spread, so.
The Jets did cover, so good teams win, great teams cover. They say, Barbarossa. Well done. Oh man, it's frustrating, man. It is. If you want to take the silver linings out of it, Mechie a positive. Some of the players on defense we highlighted. Briggs certainly one of them. Brees being Brees is a good thing. Fumble aside, I'm not trying to minimize the fumble, but I think it's just another example of like you want Brees to be with a rookie quarterback. Next year, you do. The O-line playing well. It's just a quarterback, man. Do they have one? I don't know if they do. I mean, I know they don't. Head coach to be determined, but a game like today, there's some positives, but there's also like the major questions you have once again with this head coach, with the clock management, the game management. It leaves a lot to be desired. We're going to get right back to your calls. Aaron Glenn spoke a little while ago. The Jets only posted 4 minutes of it, so something tells me they had a streaming issue, and this is not the entire presser, but either way, we'll listen into AG real quick and then get right back to your calls. This was Glenn's post-game presser after the Jets lost 23-10 to the Ravens.
The pass game together to get exactly what we want. But I just think from the naked eye watching, I thought he did a really good job. I mean, he was getting us in and out of the huddle, getting us in plays that we need to get to. He found some open receivers. I thought the two new guys that we brought in, Mechie and AD, I thought those guys did a hell of a job also. But as we practice, man, it just gives us more time for us to gel with Mason and Rucker and all those guys, Brees, Isaiah, all those guys to come together and understand how Tyrod likes to play. And that continuity would serve us well as long as we continue to play together like that.
Aaron, you guys have done such a good job reducing the number of penalties.
Yeah.
But you have some killer ones on third down today.
Yeah.
Is there a different mentality as a defensive back on third down where maybe the refs are looking a little bit harder to call that?
Yeah, I just think the refs are looking at our guys just in general. before every game, they come and talk to both head coaches, and it just seems like, man, they're looking at some of those calls, and I think, for the most part, sometimes those calls are questionable calls, in my opinion. But they make them. They make them. The one on IO, that was tough. The one on AZ was tough. But you know what? The refs made the call. And listen, we got to be able to overcome that. And that's one thing that I do want to speak on, is us being able to overcome when things like that happen. And that's us growing as a team and being a mentally tough team and being able to do that. And I look forward to our go forward and being able to be able to get over the hump and be able to get past those things. Because once we're able to continue to get our offense going, our defense going, and once we get that mental toughness, we'll be a tough team to beat.
Mechie seems like he's found a pretty good home for you guys last
Yeah.
couple weeks. I mean, what have you seen from him since he arrived, his potential future?
Yeah, no doubt. It's the reason why he's here. We didn't go and get that player just to be part of a deal, anything like that. We got that player because we feel like he can help us, and obviously he's been doing that. He's stepped right in and been vocal as a leader for us, like, fairly quickly, and it's been good. And it's not like he's trying to come in and take over. It's just who he is. And for Tyrod to be able to find him and him to be able to make the plays from the play he made last week against the Patriots, against cover zero, and the play he made this week, I think it was cover zero also. That player is going to be a good player for us, and we got to continue to find ways to give him the ball, but I'm glad that we have him.
A quick follow on that one.
Yep.
Is that I know the season hasn't gone the way that you guys
Yep.
imagined, but are there players that are playing now that could earn roles for you guys 2026, 2027, and beyond?
That's always, you always evaluating your team on a go forward, and guys you feel like to be part of the plan. So that's something that me and Moose talk about consistently, and I think that's one of the reasons why our guys play so freaking hard, is they see what we're building, they see what we're about, and they want to be a part of it, and that makes me excited for the players and excited for what we're trying to build. And it's not where we want to. I'm going to sit here and say that we don't want to be 2-9, but I do understand this. There are some things that we're doing, some underlying things that we're doing, some foundational things that we're doing that I am excited about. And we just got to make sure now the record catches up with those things that we're building.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
The last part there, I don't know if a lot of Jet fans are truly going to buy that. This fan base has got to see real wins, right? Oh, we're doing some things, laying the foundation. Like, are you, though? Your defense is worse than it was a year ago, and your defense was horrible, I thought, last year. The offensive line has some real foundational pieces on it. You got a couple nice players beyond Garrett Wilson and Brees on offense, but I'm not so sure. Major questions with the coach, with his ability to have a feel for the game. And obviously the biggest thing is still no quarterback. So, the Jets, I think, were horrific at the beginning of the year, right? They were like on a historic bad start to the season, to a point where I had, callers actually place bets with me that they thought the Jets were going to go 0-17. Like, that's how bad it looked. They're not that bad. They're just kind of like a normal, generic, bad football team right now, They're 2-9. 0-7, last team in the league to get their first win. They're kind of just your normal bad team now. I don't know if I'm looking at this and feeling like there's a ton that I can point you to feel great about. The one thing the Jets have is they have a lot of hopium that they acquired with those trades. They have 5 firsts over the next 2 years. They have 2 second-round picks this year. Everything the Jets do is going to be about getting the quarterback this offseason, because nothing else really matters. There's been a couple games this year with better quarterback play. The result might have been different, right? You either have a quarterback or you don't, and the Jets don't have a quarterback right now. I think there's some things to be encouraged about. I don't think there's things to be unbelievably positive about. Like, I think I'm reading the comments here, and I think a lot of fans don't love hearing, how optimistic the coach is when you just lost again. And you had the lead at halftime. Ladies and gentlemen, David Atkins is the first to gift memberships during the show today. David, you are the man. You are in the Asmaniac raffle for 7, because we're boosting all memberships as a thank you to everyone who's watching our channel. If you got a membership from David Atkins, make sure you thank him. Super chat from NYJ says Jets fans are the best. Just the fact that our content creators come together for a fellow Jets wedding shows how strong this Jets union is. I say it all the time, and I said it to Green Bean and Richie and Matt and everyone at the wedding last night. It is the best fan base in sports, and there is no fan of a team that gets a worse ROI than the New York Jets. Seriously, the return on your investment that you get as a Jet fan is the worst. But we do have the best content creators in the NFL. So, at least there's that. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Cynthia W. in the house with a super chat. She's in our raffle for 4. Thank you, Cynthia. 100% agree with Neil. Game plan is inconsistent, conservative / non-conservative. It's like none of the coaches are on the same page. DC and OC need to be reviewed and not an automatic comeback. I completely agree. Everything should be reviewed with the offensive staff because that's even more important than the defensive staff. Because this offensive staff, if it's going to be Angstran and company, they're going to be tasked with developing a rookie quarterback. They are. And while I think Angstran has done some good things, the inconsistencies that we have seen, that has been a real part of all this. And today was a great example of that. That's on the head coach, but also I just think the play calling at times could be a little too predictable. Michael in the house with a $5 super chat, excuse me. 4th and 2, mischanged the tenor of both sides of the ball. The Ravens and the crowd were totally rejuvenated. Again, I think there were 3 plays today that decided the game. Tyrod taking the first half sack at the end of that first half that knocked the Jets out of field goal range. Aaron Glenn going for it on 4th and 2 at their own 42, setting the Ravens up with a short field, all the momentum after that, and they go right down the field and score 7 points. And then the Brace fumble as they were driving. It cost the Jets at least 3, if not a touchdown, probably 7 there. Those to me were the 3 plays that were the difference in the game today. Mr. HNIC says, this is a very attractive job. Multiple first-round picks, cap space. I'm scared this regime is going to mess this treasure chest up. I hope not. I can't tell you that you should feel great about anything with the Jets. I can't. We've all have been burnt too many times. We got to see it. Is it possible for them to turn it around? Yeah, absolutely. They have the resources. But it's easier said than done, folks. We know this. More of your calls right now. Taylor from Connecticut's next. What's up, Taylor?
Oh, the pain. Another thing about the refs today, that the broadcast even pointed out was the substitutions on the first touchdown, I think, that the Ravens scored, where the offense subs, and then how many times have we seen on the Jets where they're trying to run a play and they're holding up the line. I apologize, the baby's crying. Where they're holding up the play and they don't let the Jets run the play. And today they didn't do it, and the Ravens quick snapped and ran it right into the end zone. It's absurd. And then the broadcast says, they say, "Oh, the Jets just should have left their personnel out there." Like, are you kidding me? We're not going to call them out for the bullshit.
Yeah.
And that was just one of the other bunch of other ones that you outlined. The other thing I feel like we probably have to invest in pass rusher. Will McDonald, anytime he plays slightly above average tackle, he just disappears. He doesn't do anything.
But I thought it's coaching, man. It's coaching.
Yeah.
It's just
No, he's too skinny. He can't. A big left tackle just locks him right up every single time. We watch it week after week. Even Will Campbell, who should have been ideally a good matchup for him. He has tiny arms. That was what everybody said. What does Will McDonald have? Velociraptor arms. He should have had a good day versus him. Did absolutely nothing. Drives me up a wall. And then the
it's
coaching.
Tough. They also are never in advantageous scenarios outside of like the Browns game, really, that I can think of for like McDonald to get home. But that can't be an excuse forever. Like you need a guy that you were counting on, that the head coach himself was hyping up in the summer to make some impact plays. Again, a big issue why the Jets don't have turnovers, besides I think the scheme being bad. If you're not getting a consistent pass rush, then you're not batting passes in the air that could be picked off. You're not, having a strip sack that leads to a fumble that you can recover. Like the Jets today, I think the best example of this wasn't McDonald, this was Sherwood. You have an easy layup sack. You're a free runner on a blitz where no one picked you up. You get a free shot at the quarterback against Lamar, and
And he
Lamar
goes to jump on him. He
he
tries to jump on him instead of just spearing him or wrap. How about this? How about like a technically sound wrap up
wrap him
tackle?
up.
How about
Yeah.
that?
It's like he's spearing him, and it just gets right all. It's just like, dude, like that. A better player there not only comes up with the sack, but maybe Lamar in that spot fumbles, and then that the defense gets a
Yeah,
turnover.
or
Like
go for the. How about that? Go for the
go for the
ball.
ball. Exactly. Yep. Amen. We're in lockstep.
Also, definitely the coaching, the whole coaching staff. I mean, Wilkes can't take more of a step back. He's already the worst defensive coordinator in the league. But Engstrand, I'm like, what are your personnel decisions where your best playmaker, you have 3rd and 5, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, and Brees Hall's not on the field. We've seen it all season. Like, what is like? I would love for them to ask him that next Thursday when he's at the podium. Be like, hey, what's the logic behind that? Because I would love to hear that. I'm like, Isaiah Davis is not a power back. Like, if it was Braylon Allen on 3rd and 1, sure. Which also hasn't worked at all either when he was healthy last year. And I don't understand. So I wasn't as down as you were on the coaching staff. I was down on them, but not as bad. Glenn and Engstrand at least. But today, I was just like, here you guys go, right back to square one, and doesn't give you a lot of confidence going forward.
No, I mean, look, the confidence is that if you just want to buy into the hopium of all the picks, but as far as
Yeah.
what we're seeing on the field, I don't know how you could feel overly confident in the coordinators or the head coach right now. I mean, I think Wilkes, forget it, he needs to be replaced. I think Engstrand at times has looked competent, and there's some things to
Right.
like. I thought today though there was just some baffling decision making by really the offensive coordinator and the head coach.
Yeah, and hey, one more thing before I turn into Neil. Why why is Lazard playing and the last few weeks Isaiah Williams was playing like de facto wide receiver 3? I'm like, why is Aaron Smith not playing? He hardly plays. They've all he's done like 3, 4 weeks in a row now is run end arounds or jet sweeps, whatever they are. It's like that's all he's done. And I don't like he was your pick. Why is Lazard playing football? Why is he playing football ever?
Why is Lazard still here? A question that
Yeah.
every Jet fan is baffled by. Taylor, great call. I mean, if you think about it, you remember Robert Saleh after the Black Friday game a few years ago said the quiet part out loud about Lazard. Oh, he's going to be here another year and a half, referencing the guaranteed money left on his contract. He said that out loud. Remember, Lazard signed a 4-year deal, and Saleh said the quiet part out loud about the guarantees on his contract. And Alan Lazard has outlasted Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas, Sauce Gardner, Quentin Williams, Aaron Rodgers, who the only reason why Lazard was here in the first place was because of Rodgers. It really is amazing that he is still here, man. It's just him and Clemens being on the team and Quentin Williams and Sauce not is just astounding. It really is. More of your calls coming up. Appreciate everyone on hold. I promise we are going to get to you. Let me get to the super chat here from Mike Perez, who's in the raffle for 4. Again, boosting super chats and memberships. Turkey Day special, little listener appreciation on the show Tuesday. I'm planning on giving out a signed Corvette football, a signed Armand Membu jersey, and a signed Nick Mangold football. Let's see. Mike, your super chat says, as much as I want good draft position, I hate to see them lose. As bad as AG has been, the fact that players are still busting their tail for him speaks volumes. Yes and no, right? Like I understand they're playing hard for him. That to me is like the bare minimum, though. Like people romanticize, oh, they're playing hard for their coach. Like, okay, not winning though. Are they playing smart? Like I don't know, I'm not saying it's not nothing, but I don't think it's enough for me to be like super pumped about it. I got to see more. I got to see more. Yeah, this was a pretty nondescript game from the standpoint that, the better team won. The Jets hung around. We know Lamar's not 100%, which certainly played into the Jets' favor. But they should have been up by more than 7-3 at halftime. And they can't make a big play. They can't get the turnover on defense. They can't get the big explosive on offense when it matters. Stone Cold, Swagger, and Stone Cold, thanks for joining my Patreon, my friend. Holy bleep, Breece Hall screens work. And you can tackle him late out of bounds. Throw the flag and pick it up and then keep the holding penalty on the Jets. That was such a terrible call, man. Seriously. And the way the ref explained the penalty, the condescending tone, there's only one foul on the play on the Jets. Holding, I'm like, what? They hit Breece Hall out of bounds. 3 yards out of bounds. He's on the white. Unreal. Yeah, look, the players are playing hard. It's just they don't have a quarterback. And when you don't have a quarterback, all the other mistakes your team makes, coaching mistakes, drops, penalties, guys not being in the right spot, it all gets magnified when you don't have a good quarterback. Because a great quarterback, it's like wearing deodorant. It could basically erase the stench of your team. It could cover a lot of your areas. It's like makeup on a woman. You know? You got that pimple? Well, the makeup could cover it up. If you have some holes in your team, the elite quarterback can cover a lot of that. You could still overcome it. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Wildcard 88 is next. What's up, Wildcard?
What's up, Jake? First off, I need to hear more about this O'Leary wedding. We're going to get like a hangover montage.
I'll tell you what. I was definitely hungover this morning. I was on the radio at 8 a.m. and that was a tough 4 hours to do today, and then have to watch this boring ass Jet game. But yes, I'll have more wedding commentary throughout the week on the show. I know Matt's going to be joining me on Thursday in his weekly spot, so we'll definitely cover some of the fun from the wedding with him then.
I first off, I don't know how you cover this team 24/7, 365 days a year. And all these Jet fans following you still, like I am as well. Like, God bless you, man. But as for this game, it's kind of like business as usual. Another Jets loss. But I was encouraged at first when they kept it close. Yeah, everyone's right. Steve Wilkes is horrendous. I was in favor of him getting hired. But after what I've seen, even before Sauce and Williams were traded, he's horrendous. Is Wink Martindale available or something? Like, do we know?
He's in college. Yeah, look, I think the guy I would want wild card, I would call up Denver and try and get Jim Leonard. He's the assistant head coach there. I believe he's the pass game coordinator on that defense under Vance Joseph, former Jet. He's a guy that I think would be a phenomenal choice to be a DC in waiting. So he's someone I would go after. I think no matter what they do this offseason, they need to change defensive coordinators, though. It's unacceptable. You have 1 turnover now through 11 games. Like, the Jets have now broken the record for most games to start the year without a pick. Like, other teams in the league, like the Jets have 1 turnover all year. The other bottom teams had at least 6 entering today. So, like, you're not even close to the other teams. Like, this is a historic level of ineptitude, not being able to turn the other team over.
Yeah, the turnover stat is mind-boggling, and what did us over today, in my opinion, I mean, obviously the Breece fumble was so deflating because we had a chance. He was like a yard away from the end zone, and fumbles the ball, and the whole game's changed at that point. Would they have won if he scored a touchdown? Probably not, but still, like, you got to hold on to the ball there. That you can't fumble. But yeah, that turnover stat is insane. Looking long term, because obviously we're going for this year. What's Rick Spielman's role in this entire organization? Because you keep saying, like, do we trust the Jets to make the right decision going forward? And my answer to that is, well, do they have a Rick Spielman filter to make sure they don't make the wrong decision going forward? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, great call. I can't tell you specifically what Spielman's role is because, like, I'm not there and he hasn't spoken to the media. His official title, I believe, is senior advisor. I'll check on that real quick. I know he was in their draft room for draft day. I actually briefly ran into Rick at the combine this past year and had a conversation with him. Let's see. His exact title, senior football advisor. I don't know how hands-on he is in that role, though. I don't. Do I feel better about the front office with him being a part of it? Sure. But I actually think, Muji's done a pretty good job with these trades. I think he's done a good job extracting value. it's just, can they get the right quarterback, right? And even the teams that are really good at drafting quarterbacks or have really good offensive minds still get it wrong. It's so tough, right? Like, I think Kyle Shanahan's phenomenal. This is the guy that traded up 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance, right? Like, it's hard to get the quarterback. Shane Steichen, I think, is a phenomenal offensive coach. They were all in on Anthony Richardson. How's that working out? So these are guys that are good at it, and they can't get it right. Now, they've been able to – see, that's the thing, though. Those teams have been able to overcome it because they're really good coaches. Like, the Jets, we don't know if we have a good coach or not. We certainly can't say Glenn's a good coach at this point. So it's like, if they get it wrong, like, they're not going to be able to overcome that like these other teams were. That's why I believe the Jets should take 2 quarterbacks this year. Someone in the first round and then someone again on day 3. And hell, if you have to take a quarterback at 27 with your 3-1, like, I'm open to everything, because until they get the quarterback figured out, we're not winning. We're not. And it seems like a lot of the fan base doesn't believe in Glenn, right? I said, I don't know if we have a good coach. I mean, I've been as critical of Aaron Glenn as anyone, but what I won't say is that it's impossible for him to turn out to be a good coach, but I don't feel good about it so far. Barbarossa says we don't. Peter Castro, we don't. PA says Glenn it over his head. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get it. I thought the in-game decision-making by Glenn today, I thought was poor. And again, who hired Engstrom? Aaron Glenn. Who hired Steve Wilkes? Aaron Glenn. Who went above and beyond to hype up Fields and say he was his guy? Aaron Glenn. So I understand why Jet fans, many of you, have major questions. I totally get it. Super chat here from Cap Thammy. What do you think the best case scenario and worst case scenario is for next year's team? Also, I love this team and always will, but it's getting hard, man. You know, I hate this team because I love them. I think you feel the same way, Cap Tammy. Look, best case scenario is they're, I think, in the playoffs, right? It happens a lot. You hit on the rookie quarterback. Houston went from picking number 2 to winning a playoff game. Last year, the Commanders went from picking number 2 to in the NFC Championship game. That, to me, is best case scenario. The Jets with Mark Sanchez went to the AFC Championship game. What's the worst case scenario? I mean, worst case scenario is probably a 4 or 5 win season, right? And then that would be like 9 or 10 total wins, depending on how many they finish with this year. I think the Jets are going to finish 4-13. That would be like anywhere from 8 to 10 wins over their first 2 years. And I would, at that point, move on from Aaron Glenn and bring in a real coach. But I don't know what the timeline is, because I don't know what Woody Johnson is looking for. I don't think he's promised them 3 years. I don't. But I think it's a complete unknown. It's going to depend what it looks like. They have to be far better, though, than what we have seen this year, right? I mean, 2-9 is just not good enough. It's not. More of your calls right now. It's time.
Gator, I don't understand why I don't have an intro.
Gator, I need an intro, buddy. A cool intro, please.
I've been calling in, supporting Jake for over 4 years. You got Adam is too cool, Papa 73, and I don't understand why you won't create one for women.
You have no sense of humor. That's the problem.
I don't.
When you have a sense of humor, then you can have an intro.
I'm worthy of an intro.
All right, fine.
I don't understand why I don't have an intro. Hey, Jake.
Hello, Rob.
I don't know, Jake. I think we're going to suffer at least 3 years with this garbage coach, Aaron Glenn. I mean, they might do something about Wilkes and get rid of him after this year, but I think we're stuck with the ineptness of Aaron Glenn. I mean, he just the stupidity. You know, it's 10-7, Jake. It's the third quarter, 2 minutes left in the quarter. We're right in the game, you know, and why would you go for it on your own 42-yard line? And it's 4th and 2, and the call was a crap call. I mean, I don't get that. I mean, you don't make it there, short field, which it was. They scored a touchdown, and now the game is, I won't say out of reach, but not looking good. And it didn't have to happen. They didn't have to do that. I hate to say it, they should have punted. In that particular predicament, they should have punted. They could have pinned them back. At the time, the defense wasn't playing so bad. Play to the game. Aaron Glenn doesn't have a feel for the game. I mean, I have zero confidence in this coach, Jake. I really do. I want to see this guy lose the rest of the games and get canned, but it's not going to happen.
Well, that's the thing. I think they could finish 2-15 and he wouldn't be fired, Rob. I think he's coming back no matter what. I think the second they made those trades, that gave Glenn and Muji a second year, regardless how the year ended. Because if you're letting them make those type of trades, you're going to let them use some of those picks in the offseason. Because I truly believe they told Woody, if you let us make these deals, it is going to be with the intention of getting our quarterback figured out this offseason via the draft. I think that's what they told Woody when they were making those deals.
Yeah. You're right. That bought him time. That definitely bought him time. They knew what they were doing. They knew that this was going to buy them time, especially when they started off 0-6, 0-7. They knew that they had to do something. Say, hey, you know what? This is a rebuild. We like it or not. And I think they just went on a little bit of a panic mode. But as the game goes, game management and everything, Jake, you see it. This guy doesn't really know what he's doing. And Wilkes is, I don't know if the game has passed him by. I didn't have a good feel when they hired him. I really didn't. And everyone was yelling at me, oh, no, he's good. When the 49ers fired him, to me, that was a red flag. So I wasn't so gung-ho about him. And he's just proven my point. I mean, he's horrible. Now, Enstrom, he made a lot of mistakes today. A lot of mistakes. But, I mean, he did a couple of good things. Now, I will say this about Brees, Jake, where people are not mentioning. I know he fumbled because when that guy gets the ball, it's like magic, that guy, when he gets the ball. He's just so effing talented, this guy. But here he is, Jake. And you notice, when he had the ball on the 2-yard line, there's 3 Baltimore Ravens standing him up while another guy's yanking the ball out. And it's true. I think it was Neil who said this to me. Where are our players trying to push him into the end zone? Why did it get to that point that guy got his hand underneath and he stripped it out? And where was our players not trying to push him right into the end zone for a touchdown? It was, I saw it counted. See the instant replay again. You see like 3 or 4 Baltimore Ravens, and you barely see any Jets in sight there. And he's pulling the ball out. I mean, that's bullshit. I mean, where were the Jet players there trying to push him into a touchdown? So that really teed me off. That was bullshit. But, I mean, like I said, it's hard, Jake, for me to root for them to lose. I know I say that. I want them to lose. I just want them to be competitive. But it's hard. When you're at the moment and you're watching, you're saying, oh, my God, dude, they're ridiculous. Do we have a chance here? And there's the Jet fan in you hoping that they win,
Yeah. I mean, look, at least they didn't get blown out. If you want to find something, it's tough. I mean, the stat that they scored, 6 times first this year and are 0-6 in those games is just hard to comprehend. Like, that truly is unbelievable.
And let's be honest here, Jake. I mean, everyone was happy to get rid of a lot of people, and you know who, was happy to get rid of Sauce and everything. Yeah, he's overrated. Get rid of him. But be careful what you ask for, because now the secondary looks weak. Okay? All right, A.Z. Thomas looks like he could possibly be a good player. I like the way he looked. I really do. I'm sorry. I don't believe in Stevens at all. He's up and down, up and down. He had like 3-4 good games, and now the last 2-3 games have been awful. So you know what? They're going to need another corner. I don't care what anyone says. I'm not comfortable with Stevens there. Cedric, who got hurt, you might as well cut that guy. That guy stinks. He's a safety. Our safeties look really bad. Malachi Moore hasn't really looked that good so far. So we have a lot of holes in the secondary, Jake. A lot of holes.
Yeah, the secondary stinks. The linebacker room stinks. The edge at defensive end is terrible. The defense, which was once one of the top 3 units in the league not that long ago, is atrocious now. I still think it was the right move to trade Sauce because they got 2 first-rounders for him. The Quinnen deal, I think, still was the right move. But, look, the defense had problems then, before those deals, so they don't get a pass, right? Like, I'm not giving Steve Wilkes a pass when the defense the first 5 weeks with all those guys on the team, 8 of their 11 starters back from last year, were on pace to give up the most points in franchise history. It's not acceptable. Terry says it's not absolutely set in stone that Aaron Glenn stays. Woody could say, you're done, AG, at the end of the year. Terry, you really think Woody Johnson is going to fire the coach that he ultimately selected? The first time Woody oversaw a coach and GM search in a decade, right, since Bowles and McCagnon, his hires, right? He's an Aaron Glenn guy. You think he's going to fire Glenn after he let Glenn make those trades? It's not happening, right? Especially because it's not like the Jets are losing by 30 in these games. They finish with 2 wins, but it's a lot of the same thing like today where they hang around. They're at least not getting their doors blown off. He's not going to get fired. Look, I personally would be shocked. If you're right, I give you all the credit. I don't think Aaron Glenn's going anywhere. I think the second they made those trades, you knew he was coming back. And I've operated under that premise since then. Do I think he's a good head coach? No. Do I think he's done a good job this year? No, I think he's been terrible, quite honestly. Do I think he has shown some improvement the last, let's say, 4 to 5 games? Yes. But that to me is not enough for me to feel good about him. Like, the bar is pretty low. I thought he was Gase level bad, Ulbrich level bad, the first, 7 games of the season, let's say. So I just hope he continues to show improvement. I didn't like the decision-making today. I thought the 4th and 2 decision was a terrible, terrible job by a coach not having a feel for the game. This is a low-scoring game. You're at your own 42. You already previously chose to not go for it on a 4th down and punt when you were around midfield. Now at your own 42, why are you gifting the Ravens a short field, getting the crowd back into the game, giving them momentum, and then you knew the Ravens were going to take advantage. They went right down the field. Made it look easy. And once it got to 17-7, you knew the game was over. Because the Jets, they're not built to come from behind. They're just not. They're not that type of team. Comments, questions, super chats. They will cut the line. Again, I want to thank all of you who continue to support the show. We couldn't do it without you. We're presented today by Ridge Wallet. Holiday season is here. Ridge will hook you up with one of their sleek looking wallets. If you use the promo code Asman, you might be able to save up to 47%. Ridge, they're known for their sleek design. They introduced the Ridge 2.0. They spent 12 years perfecting the Ridge 2.0 wallet. It's lighter, cleaner. It is upgraded with cash straps, money clips, and air tag attachments, premium materials like aluminum, titanium, and carbon fiber. So check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. Go to ridgewallet.com. While you're there, use the promo code Asman. Take advantage of the full holiday sale from Ridge, and you can get up to 47% off. Again, ridge.com/Asman. Promo code Asman, and you'll see all the selections. Get the discount. They have Jet-themed Ridge wallets, so check it out. They also have Major League Baseball, college teams. So Ridge is really cool for anyone who's looking for a wallet that is sleek, easy to carry, doesn't give you back problems, doesn't give you that George Costanza wallet feel, right? Check out Ridge if you're looking for a quality gift for a loved one, a friend, significant other. Ridge should be your go-to. Ridge.com/Asman. Get that discount, and shout out to Ridge for sponsoring the postgame show. Let's get to some of your calls right now. Right back to it. Paul is next. Hello, Paul.
What's going on, Jake?
Hey, Paul. What's up?
Touch base on a few things. I'm frustrated like everybody else, right? But I recently got a new promotion, and for
congratulations,
those out there
Paul.
Thank you. So
hey,
for those
hold on
out
a second.
there,
that to me is a victory. Let's hit it.
Nothing like a moral victory. But my point to it is, when you do get a new job role, right, there are a lot of things out there that's different that you have to take in and you have to learn. And I'm assuming the same as with sports, right? So I guess my point is I'm still trying to give trying to give Glenn a little leeway. I'm trying to give Eggstrand a little leeway. Wilkes, I have none for because it's not like it's his first rodeo. You know, he's been there. He's done this, and I don't understand why. I mean, let's be honest. We got rid of two of our best defensive players as well, and like we're still like not even that much worse. Like you don't even really notice them gone, right? So I question just a lot with this team, but I get so frustrated with so many things like everybody else. But when you watch the game too, like we were in this game, and you can't tell me that the officiating isn't consistently it's just annoying. There's always something that happens at a pivotal point in the game that if they just called it right, could have made the difference in that game as well. That to me was a big momentum change. Instead of us getting back 10 yards, we would have first and goal and up 5 more yards. So that ticked me off. But I mean, I want to say, like, you know, we have no choice but to give some of them more time and see if they actually start to get better. But my last question to you, and I want to leave to hear what you say, is what coach would be out there next year that it would be like, if this guy comes out and we don't go after him, like, you know, like, is there any hope or chance at all that something like that could happen, that next year there's an actual qualified coach that comes out that maybe ownership would say, you know what, we got to get this guy? Too bad, Aaron. And I'll appreciate you as always, Glenn. We'll talk soon, bro.
Paul, I appreciate you. I was confused at first by the question. Like, did you mean 2027 after the 26-year, what coach will be out there? Because it's too far out to really know, right? Obviously, if like Kevin O'Connell became available, or if you had, you know, Tomlin or Harbaugh available, to me, it's a no-brainer. If you're talking about this offseason, I don't think there's any coach that could become available that would make Woody Johnson fire Aaron Glenn at the end of the year. I think Glenn's his guy, for better or worse. Do I necessarily agree with that? I mean, if you told me Mike Tomlin was available, I'd drive Aaron Glenn to the airport and I'd stop in Pittsburgh and pick Mike Tomlin up myself. But, you know, that's not a reality here. You know, Woody loves Aaron Glenn. I think, you know, we have some fun and joke about it on the show, but that's real. And I've heard that from people I trust, that Woody has full belief in Glenn. We could question it, but Aaron Glenn has won Woody Johnson over. Like, Woody is letting Glenn do it his way.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
For better or worse. Also, big baseball trade just now. I'm like still processing it. The Mets and the Texas Rangers have started the baseball hot stove. The Mets just traded Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Semien. Now, Semien did not have as good of a year as Nimmo, not even close. So I don't know why the Mets made this trade. Maybe it's part of a bigger move. We'll see. But we know the Mets have a lot of money, so they could try and find a bat in free agency to replace some of that production. Semien at least improves their infield defense. But there's a quick baseball thought for you. All right, some super chats here. I want to get right back to your calls. Big fella, extend Brees, McNamara, and Briggs, keep Mechie. Agreed on all those takes. By the way, McNamara remains the Jets' best player this year. I mean, he's been great. He really has been. I mean, what's not to like about Austin McNamara? He's been excellent. Now, I wish we didn't have to see him as much as we did, but that's not his fault. He's just excellent at his job. All right, let's get to more of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is...
Mad Max ain't yapping about Jets. That boy, he's jamming. He's slamming. Freaking dancing. Wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman. He got an orange wall.
Can you guys hear me?
No.
Let's talk about my main takeaways from the game. So here's my 5 points I really point out. So in the first half, our defense played good in the first half, but I think it fell apart in the second half. I think, you know what? The one thing our defense is inept at, turnovers. Jake, we have 0 turnovers throughout the entire season. It's total ineptitude from this defense. We have 0 turnovers. Even Beast can probably Beast will have the first turnover. You'll probably have more turnovers than this Jets defense will have the entire season. Beast breaker. Honestly, our defense is inept. Like, we can't even get turnovers. Honestly, Jake. What's your thoughts? Do you think Beast will get a turnover?
I don't think Beast is currently on the Jets roster, so that might be difficult, Mad Max.
But I'm just saying hypothetical. Would you, if Beast was on the Jets roster, would he create a turnover? Because like none of our defensive players can create a turnover, hononestly. Or even get an interception.
Beast would be on defense. What if he was on offense? How would he create a turnover then?
I'm just saying probably Beast would be on defense. So he'll be a good defensive end. He's like 300 pounds, like Jake, Beast breaker. But
well, let me check in with Beast, and I'll see if we can maybe get an answer to some of your questions.
What's up, Beast? What's up, Beast? How you doing?
I got a fucking headache right now. My goddamn back's killing me. My temper's already through the roof. I'm already ready for some turkey.
You're ready for some turkey, huh?
Honestly, Beast, would you create turnover? Because this Jets defense is terrible. Like, we had no takeaways, no interceptions the entire season. Would you be the first person to intercept on the Jets defense if you played on defense? If you played on defense today, Beast, would you be the first person to intercept? Like, honestly, would you be the first person to intercept the ball, get the first interception of the season? Because that's for sure. The Jets defensive players won't even get an interception.
Time out for a second. At age 41. If I had the leg strength or the body strength, I would go for it. But unfortunately, you tried doing lawns and breaking some bones. Not the easiest thing in the world. Not easy world, kid.
I'm just saying, Beast, because his defense is inept at creating interceptions. That's why I just think you'll be better than to have these defensive players and creating turnovers.
When you get the pains, you'll tell me in the next 20 years. I gotta go pick up a gallon of milk because we're doing roasted potatoes tonight. Yep. The fun never ends, does it? Nah, does it? Yeah, well, I'll say this today. Our team looked like they didn't have no balls. They were back to their usual. Boring as usual. Tyrod looked like he did okay, but unfortunately they're still lacking in several different departments. There needs to be some communication because there's right now no communication within that team. The team needs to work on communication. They need to work on leadership skills. They're even working with the teammates. Look, I'm trying to make a goddamn fucking point right now. I'm trying to say, where's the work within the teammates? There's no work in the teammates. It's like the team can't even work together.
I agree. I agree with you, Beast. I really agree with you, Beast, because our teamwork is horrible. Like the defensive players, like even the Patriots game was almost like the 2 interceptions, Oni Adams and the teamwork was like, someone's be like, I have the ball, I'm gonna get the interception. Instead, the 2 idiots decide, let's just go out into each other. That was last game, Beast. It was embarrassing. Now that safety Stiggers has a concussion. What a horror show.
Question. Did you see how ugly those Patriot jerseys look? They look like they came from the Baby Gap store.
All right, good stuff there from Beast.
Very good. And then let me get to my points on offense. Why do we not using Mechie anymore? I feel like Mechie is promising. And then on the 4th and 2, Aaron Glenn just flip-flops. He's like, he goes on 4th and 2 in the 45-yard line. I'm like, why would you go for on 4th and 2? Even the announcers is like, why would you punt it? Because in the situation, it was low scoring. Our defense was playing good. We got stops on Waller Jackson. Why are we going to go for it on 4th and 2? And even if you want to go for it on 4th and 2, why don't you have Breece Hall on the field? I'm sorry, Jake. Breece Hall is the best receiver the Jets have right now. And the Jets offense is like, why can't we use him on screens? We don't use Breece Hall enough on screens. And when it does, when we usually use Breece Hall on screens, it's very good for our offense. We get productive yards, we get gains. And then let's talk about the jet sweep. We see with Aaron said, why don't we do that more in the game? Like, it works. Like, you get 12 yards of carry. That's what Neil said. Like, you got 12 yards, and like Angstran's like, oh, I'm not going to use that play again. It's just no. It's like, and every time I see Jake on first down, it's always a run. It's like, even start the games like a first one, Brees Hall maybe getting to like, I don't know, 3 yards. Like, be a little bit more creative. Use the jet sweep, RPO, a little play action. You know, I think. I'm not saying Angstran's a bad coordinator. I think he's maybe handicapped to the quarterbacks we have. Like, Fields is horrible, and Tyrod is maybe below average. I mean, he's better than Fields. He's still below average, but I feel like Angstran can run maybe a little bit more of a creative offense. What's your thoughts on that, Jake?
What are you guys' opinion on me doing a backflip through this orange wall?
I didn't think Angstran called a great game today, Mad Max. I definitely think that there were opportunities to be more creative with some of the play calling. Look what the Giants did, right? Some of the trickeration they ran today that worked. To me, the Jets, they don't do that enough. You know? I understand they want to run the ball, but even when they're trying to run the ball, right, you need to have Brees Hall on the field on 3rd and 4th down. That's on the play caller. Your best players need to be out there. So that's an example there. I just thought there were opportunities for the Jets to make this a much closer game in the second half. They hung around for a half. Clearly, Lamar Jackson was compromised. Right, he was not the same explosive athlete we're accustomed to seeing, and they should have been up by more than just 7-3. Hennessy with a super chat. Raiders and Saints will pick in front of us. Shake my head. Maybe. I think the Jets are going to trade up for their quarterback. They will not be outbid if there's someone they like. Here's your look at the draft order as the late window is going on here. The Jets were in front of the Giants till that game ended with the Giants pulling it out in overtime. I mean, look, the Jets are going to be right there. They're at 3 entering the late window. This is going to change a lot between now and then. You know, you look at Cleveland's schedule, there's still some winnable games for them, including going on right now in Vegas. New Orleans has a game left with the Titans. I think the Titans are the worst team in the league when I watch them play. The Jets have to lose that game to the Saints when they play if you're someone who wants a top 3 pick. Like that game will ultimately decide if the Jets finish in the top 3, I feel like. Like there's a couple games left on the Jets schedule that are clearly winnable, and that's one of them. And that game has major ramifications for the tanking standings. It really does. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Back to your calls. Let's roll.
Adam is cool, although kind of basic. He claims he's too cool, though often quite basic. He makes great jet points, looks a little basic. Adam is cool, too cool, but basic. Some would say generic.
Hey, Jake, that was fun.
You were there today, right?
No, I skipped out, and I'm kind of glad I did.
I think you made the right choice.
I mean, the first half was fun. If I left it the first half, it would have been great. But...
yeah, if you paid full price for a half of football, I guess you'd be happy if that's what you want to tell yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the prices started shooting up because the Ravens are competitive again. So, I think I didn't go. But at any rate, I don't know if this team knows how to win. I think that's what, and I don't know if Aaron Glenn really knows why teams win, because the mental errors are just insane. And the fact that he's got an analytics guy working with him in the game, and that 4th and 2 call was just not smart, not a smart play in your own territory. Like, if you're Steve Wilkes, you got to be thinking, what the heck did Aaron Glenn set me up for just now? When you think about it, just very disappointing performance by the coaching. Brees now has, I hate to say it, 2 bullets in his head, because he's done this twice now, where he's just choked it up when he's supposed to be crossing the goal line. Like, something I've noticed about Brees is he doesn't jump. Have you ever noticed that? He never jumps. And it sounds crazy, but like, if you look at the Kareem Hunt touchdown today, if Brees just got some forward momentum and jumped, he's athletic enough. You don't think he can hurdle? He needs to learn how to jump so that he doesn't get stuck. Because what happened was he got stuck, got tied up with all the other people around him, and that's when the strip sacks happen. And that's coaching. So I don't know what to say. Like, can you?
That's an interesting point. I haven't noticed that, but come to think of it, I can't think of too many plays where he has jumped. Look, it's a bad fumble. Give credit to the Ravens. It also was a really good, play by them. I think it was Humphrey who got in there. He's like known for being that kind of pesky player. But like that is the difference between the Jets and the Ravens, right? Like their defense made the play when it mattered, whereas the Jets never could come up with some sort of game-changing play defensively to help out their team. Like the Jets have won a game this year where their offenses led them to victory, the Cincinnati game. The Jets have won a game this year where their special teams led them to victory, scored twice in that Browns game. What's the game this year where the defense said, enough is enough, we're winning the game, we're going to make plays and get it done? There hasn't been all year.
There hasn't, but, not that many points were scored by the Ravens when it was all said and done. And I just thought, like, the seven of those points were because of a bad 4th and 2. Let's call it what it is. Just the whole flow of the game was crazy. Like, do you remember like how many times the Jets offense was in Ravens territory? Like the whole game they were in the Ravens territory. They had no problem marching up the field and just couldn't close out. And that's just a reflection of a team that hasn't learned how to win. Like that's the whole point of this year is to learn how to win. I don't know if they really know. And I don't know if
I don't think you could either learn. I think the learning how to win stuff is overrated. Like you want to know how you learn how to win. You get better players, better coaching, and most importantly, learn how to win. Get a quarterback, right? Did the Texans learn how to win when they went from picking second in the NFL draft to winning a playoff game? No, they got C.J. Stroud, who had the best rookie season we'd seen until a year later. Jaden Daniels did the same thing, if not better. You know what I mean? Like I think the learning how to win stuff is so overrated. If you get better quarterback play, naturally your team learns how to win as well.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't Tyrod's fault. Brees fumbled the ball.
No, and I don't think Taylor was great today. I'm not putting it all on him. He played better than Fields would have,
Yes.
but Tyrod's not the answer. Like he's a 36-year-old journeyman who we know what he is at this stage of his career.
Yeah, but like when you look at like just the key like elements of the game that you can't make that many mistakes. The penalties were one thing, and rookies were being rookies. Yeah, it's the choice that you make when you get rid of Sauce and some others, and that's fine. Like I could live with that. But when you think about even just the when Tyrod got sacked, taking himself out of field goal range, situational football, right? That's coaching. He's way too old to be making that mistake.
Again, I thought the 3 biggest plays in the game, that was one of them, the Glenn 4th and 2 decision and the Brees fumble. I thought those were the 3 plays that defined the game.
Top 3. And you know what? You add all those points together, you win the game if you don't make those
Agreed.
lapses.
Well, you likely win the game, but even if if the game becomes right there for you if you don't beat yourself. And when you're a 14-point underdog pretty much on the road, you can't help the other team by making mental mistakes or by, just having a catastrophic turnover. So like Glenn's 4th and 2 is a coaching mistake. That's mental. That's not a physical mistake. That's a mistake by the head coach. The Brees Hall fumble is a physical mistake. Okay, can't happen. But Tyrod Taylor taking a sack there, dude, that's the one thing you can't do. You've been in the league forever. If that was Fields, Jet fans rightfully would want him tarred and feathered. Taylor shouldn't get a pass for that. That can't happen. That was a huge play in the game. The Jets played well enough to be up more than just 7-3 at halftime in this game.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll be interesting to see if some other coach will probably make adjustments to Brees' game where you just cannot be upright stalled. If you're upright and stalled, 2 things are going to happen. Either you're going to pray for the refs to blow a whistle and call the play dead, or stop the play, or it's going to wait until somebody strips the ball out of your hands. And you just got to get on the ground when you have a chance to, or get airborne. And Brees is so athletic. I really hope one day you see that part of his game, because I missed that. And I know I'm going circular here. Let me think. Was there one other point I wanted to make with the game? These little incremental adds by Muji are really adding up to improvements in the roster overall. I think they're showing very good early returns, which is a really good sign. Like when it's all said and done, you've got Brownlee contributing really well. Maybe he's really a linebacker and a CB body, but he's very physical. He's good at one thing. And if you keep him doing that kind of role, it's great. I think Mechie and A.D. Mitchell are instant adds, value adds to the team. Briggs was very good today. Phillips is great. Does anyone really miss Quinnen right now? Not yet, but maybe we will later. But right now, these guys are serviceable. These are all incremental ads that cost us peanuts when it's all said and done.
Look, I think that has been probably the best aspect of the Jets this year as far as a coach or a GM, right? I think, what you have seen from Darren Muji's ability in the trade market has been impressive. And that includes extracting, I think, max value for Sauce and
for Quinnen as well. Now they got to get it right with potentially trading up and picking the right quarterback in the draft. But at least Muji has shown an aptitude to be very good on trades, and he should get credit for that.
Definitely. I'd say, definitely QB, edge. I think you still need to, at some point replace, Quinnen and Sauce with additional, young talent in the draft, like a DT and a corner for sure.
Definitely.
Developmental dudes that are going to follow, what's already some young teams. Team is younger. I don't think the team's getting better on the field. They're just better on paper. And it's just like I hope it'll click. They've got how many more games now? 7 more games for it to click.
Well, they played 11. I'm not good at math, but I believe that means there's 6 games to go now.
6. Yep, there you go. That's my math for me. Look, I mean, a win would be great for the team morale. A lose just helps us pay less for whatever we're looking for at the top of the draft. So, as a Jet fan, you just don't want to see choke jobs. And it's just, I feel bad for Brees. I feel like Brees has add him to the list of players that we have ruined, so to speak. He's got so much talent. I really hope that he can just clean up the little bits of his game that he doesn't the drops are not a big deal this year. Remember when drops were a problem? He was leading the league in drops. So he doesn't have that now, but now he has these major fumbles that he's got to stop. And then he cleans up that game, and then he's a top 5 running back, which is all we ever hoped. I think that you still keep him around. I think you definitely tag him. If a team wants to make a ridiculous trade for him, Muji's gonna listen to offers, but I think you tag him. I think it's not that expensive, and he's worth the value considering the production you get from him.
I'd keep him on and try and do an extension for 2 years to see if I can get something done. Because if you tag him, you're taking that hit directly on your cap. You can't finagle it. But look, if they tag him, I'm not going to criticize him. I will only criticize the Jets if Brees is not on the team next year. Because I didn't criticize them for not taking the 4th round pick from the Chiefs, because I'm going to give the Jets the benefit of the doubt that they're going to keep Brees. And the way Glenn spoke about Brees after the game, saying that's my guy, I think Glenn wants Brees here. And I think if Brees is, open to being here, which I think he is, he's a running back, and if the Jets make him an offer that he, quote, can't refuse, or they tag him, he doesn't have a choice. So the fumble was bad. He's only had 2 of them this year. Both have been brutal. I get it. I want him here, though. Brees should be on the team. You could have a rookie quarterback playing for you next year. Brees Hall needs to be on this football team. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Patreon.com/Jake Asman shows the best way to support the show. Get in the Discord. The Discord was popping during the game today. I want to thank Robin and Stone Cold for being our 2 most recent Patreon subscribers. You get bonus shows on Patreon, your name in the intro. Find out about exclusive events and 20% off everything in the merch store year-round. We have a special guest currently in my room right now watching the post-game show, but apparently I'm very boring because I have put her to sleep. Chloe is in the house, and you can see her. She's on my bed over there. She just woke up, but she's currently sleeping right now. So I was going to try and bring her on the show, but we'll see. But she's been sitting here observing, listening into some Jets talk, but looks like she's down for the count. All right. She also was very frustrated with the lack of turnovers today.
Do they ever force a damn turnover?
The answer is no. No, they do not. No, they simply do not. All right. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, stop what you're doing because it's David T time.
I got my eye on you. Checkmate me full screen. It's fireball whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
Hi, Jake.
Hey, David.
Great wedding picture. Love my dog, Rocky. He loves to sleep, too. He could sleep 10, 15 hours. And I'm getting to a point in retirement I could sleep a lot myself. But anyway, I'm in the Jet sadness. I keep trying to be positive. Aaron Glenn, let him make his mistakes. I know he's coming back next year. But I can't stop thinking about if a guy like, not that he would come, Mike McCarthy would come in. You'd have to think we'd get our quarterback and he could coach the team differently because he's been there and done that. But, hey, Que sera, sera, you know.
Amen, David. Amen. Hopefully, the coaching just improves because we're kind of stuck with Aaron Glenn. It feels like for at least another year.
Yeah, you know what, Jake, and I don't like to use that word stuck because I'm trying to be positive, but I think we're stuck with him.
Well, I'll tell you what. Until he's not our coach, we as Jet fans have no choice but to root for the man who has 2 wins and counting. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a special guest. Chloe is here. She was disgusted with the Jet loss, wanted to see another win. Thought at halftime that they were showing some fight, but she kept telling me if we don't get a turnover, Jake, we're not going to win. And she was right. The Jets are now 2-9. But they play the Atlanta Falcons next week. And Chloe will be ready for that one. Say hi, Chloe. You have a lot of fans in the chat. Say hello. Hello, chat. I'm Chloe the dog. Here's Chloe's message to everyone.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? All right, more calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is a man who this chat reveres. He's quickly becoming one of the most beloved callers that this program offers. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to say hello to the Chuck Wagon.
Chuck Wagon's always cooking, which it takes. Chuck Wagon's even cooking at the game. Chuck Wagon hates McDonald's, but he's headed home to cook. It's time once again for Chuck Wagon.
Hey, Jake.
What's up, Chuck?
Not much. One thing that most people probably didn't know is going into Sunday, the Ravens had the third fewest sacks, and yet they were able to get 3 sacks on us, and one of them, was just a killer. So for, it's just, it's no surprise that something like that would, turn for the worse for the Jets. Just can't be lucky or anything. I thought the officiating was horrific, but you can't let the officials dictate the game. You still got to play through it, even though it was crap. And I guess, Mechie and Mitchell were the few bright spots for the offense. So I guess you can hang your hat on that.
Mechie's look good. I think he's a real positive. Like he's a great story too with everything he's had to overcome. So I'm excited about his potential. I mean, in a lost year, you're trying to find things that you could point to that could be useful for the next season and beyond. And I think Mechie and Mitchell being on this team with Garrett Wilson and then maybe only needing to find like one legit number 2 in either the draft or free agency, like it's a lot easier to do than needing to try and find like 3 wide receivers.
Yeah. So, and I'm probably one of the few people that are going to say this, but even when Garrett's healthy, I think you should just sit him for the rest of the year and don't risk any long-term injury. Especially if Fields ever goes back on that field again. I don't want him to ruin Wilson's career at all. I just hope, and I don't know if anybody else had this take, I don't care if he's not ready. You got to put Cook at least number 2. I just do not want Fields on the field anymore. I'm not saying that Cook is ready, and Tyrod Taylor didn't do too bad per se. Obviously better than Fields, but I just make Fields the number 3 quarterback, move Cook to number 2, maybe put him, start him here and there just to see what you have. And I know they have a plan for Cook. That's what Aaron Glenn says, but yeah, you really got to start doing something different. You can't be doing the same stuff and expecting different results. Something's got to really change.
Yeah, I think we've been saying that all year, and
Yeah.
nothing seems to really change, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, it's
that's just sad. That's depressing because in the last 4 or 5 years, the defense was the calling card. Between the offense and defense, it was always the defense was better. We just got to focus on the offense and we'd be great. And now just seeing this horse crap, week in, week out is just, except for the first half. The first half was as good as, you could have hoped for. But yeah, it just hurts when the defense is this putrid.
It was putrid. I mean, and look, statistically, people will say, you held them to 23 points. You need a big stop. Do they get it? Like the Ravens today, they forced the turnover. They made the big sack at the end of the first half. It never should have happened if Tyrod had better awareness, but they made plays. Like the Jets today, what was the standout defensive play that they made? There wasn't enough.
I can't think of one. I can't really think of. I mean, there was a sack, just one sack, but
yeah, Briggs early in the game.
Yeah,
Sherwood should have had a sack. Like that could have been a better linebacker. That's a strip sack. Like that's a turnover for the Jets. If they put more pressure on Lamar, tip pass could lead to an interception. Maybe there's a fumble opportunity. It's just I don't know, man. I think it's a combination of lack of talent in some areas, coaching, personnel. It's everything. But I don't think Wilkes could survive these next 6 games. Barring a miracle, I think they will be the last 6 games we see from Steve Wilkes as the Jet DC. At least if Aaron Glenn has any feel for his football team, what they need going forward, that better be the case.
How old's your dog?
Chloe is 8.
And I assume it's a female?
Chloe, yes, that would be a female dog.
I just I don't want to make assumptions nowadays. Didn't want to assume.
No,
but,
she's a real bitch, this Chloe right here.
Oh, your words. Oh boy. But that's nice. Yeah. Again, I guess silver lining. Jets covered the spread. Big whoop.
They did by a half a point. They really did.
And possible 10 points were left on the table in 2 plays, which could have made a huge difference in how the game ended, but neither here or there. You just move on and just hope for some better play next week.
100%. Chuck, great call. Say hi to your dog for us.
I will.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Chuck Wagon. He's becoming one of the most popular callers for his calls when he's cooking dinner. Chloe, what do you have to say for yourself? Amanda's on to my tricks, by the way. Chloe for views. That's right. That's right. I mean, what you got to pull out all the stops when the team you spend 4 hours a day talking about is in the middle of a now 2-9 season, and all the excitement will not pick back up until January when we start the off season and get to Senior Bowl and all that. See, Chloe is just chilling in my room because she only follows my mom around or whoever has food in the house. And both my mom and stepdad currently aren't home, so I'm the only one home. So by default, she'll just chill in my room because I'm here, but she's snooping around to see if there's any snacks in here, which there isn't, because I'm just home for the weekend because I was at the wonderful Matt O'Leary wedding last night. The Zaha, and by the way, last chance to get in on the postgame show here because we're going to wrap up shortly. We'll be back with Beningo tomorrow, Joe B, at 10 a.m. And once again, this clip from Joe B that I've been playing now for weeks still applies after another just disastrous Jet game where they don't force a turnover.
Do they ever force a damn turnover?
No, they do not. A-View says the defense was not the problem. Jets look better today. The defense is the problem. The defense absolutely is the problem. Is it their only problem? Of course not. But you can't tell me that the defense is not a problem. When do they ever make a play? Right? The quote, Beningo, do they ever force a damn turn? No, they don't. Sorry, Chloe. I know you're a little scared hearing me yell. They don't. It's brutal. Oh, man. This is a great comment from Leon. Chloe used to be Kyle, dog in transition, force-fed puberty blockers. Yo, Holmes, trans dog. You can't assume. It's 2025, people. Beastbreaker says, I'm in a crabby mood today. Are you, Beast? What's wrong?
3 lawns done today. Watched the Jets game. I was just like, what the hell is half this team doing? I mean, we're still lacking in transparency. It seems like we cannot get this team to communicate with each other. It's like, what's this team doing? Oh, they're too busy on their goddamn phones. No, they're too. No. What they're doing is sitting.
You
with
saw
their
players
hands
on their
ass.
phone? Hey, calm down. You saw Jet players on their phone today? I didn't see this.
It's all It's all right up here. It's all common sense. All you got to do is for figuring this all out because this team doesn't look like they're ready. Okay, I see half the guys look ready, but the other half, the other 50%, they don't look like they're prepared. They are not ready for the big fight. It's like I can't even imagine how much more the suffering and the screaming and the yelling and all the other chicken shit that I gotta deal with half of the day, and then I gotta deal with problems with spam callers and retards. Oh, where is this world coming to? It's like my head. It feels like I'm in a vice. It's like, how much of this crap do we need? I already made it loud and clear. We're going to take $3 billion out next year. We need new players, new stars, fresh meat off the market. No more of this tainted meat, old meat, and the other cheap meat bullshit. No more shopping at the dollar store. We're going to start learning to play small ball the right way. You want to win games? Spend the goddamn money wisely. Stop playing your bullshit with everybody. I don't want to listen to it anymore. No more dollar store shit. That clear? You want to win games? Get the talent and go and get it. Go out, look around. It's not hard. It's like shopping. Same shit, except here's the difference. Take a damn list, figure it out, and do it correctly. What part of sucks my ass do you read? Don't put too much on this on because you'll have a roasted asshole by the end of the night and going,
Very well said there by Bees. Chloe, what do you say? What do you think? Where's little Joey? Hey, Bees, where's little Joey? Chloe wants to meet little Joey. In the meantime, let's get to one of our great legendary callers on the line. He's always got a lot to add to the conversation. Before we get to him, though, last chance to get in, and I'm going to gift the membership because we've only had 5 the whole show, and we're boosting memberships by +2, so a little listener appreciation. Again, thanks to everyone who supports the show today. Still watching a post-game show for a 2-9 team. Means the world. So I'm gifting one right now. If you get it, you're actually getting 3 raffle entries for Tuesday's raffle because everything is +2 on the post-game today. So I just gifted 1 membership. Ladies and gentlemen, the membership went to listener Amanda Madison. Hey, how about that? Hugs for all.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
All right. How fitting. Ladies and gentlemen, up next is none other than the Kyle Clifton.
What's up, Jake? How are you?
Hello, Kyle. How was your Jets viewing experience today?
Subpar. No, I came right from my girls' basketball game, and I went up to a place where I knew a lot of people that we've traditionally gone to the Jet games together, and we watched the game, and Aaron Glenn is not good, right? Can we say that now? Like,
he certainly has not been good through his first 11 games. That is certainly something we could say.
This game was very, very winnable today. They were ahead. It's a little frustrating, like to be on the road like that, and to have a second half that was frustrating. And I know we fumbled at the 2-yard line, whatever it was, right? The 1-yard line. That's fine. You can recover from that. But it's just it's a little upsetting that I'm kind of beside myself with Aaron Glenn. Like, it's kind of on him when you're up in a game like this on the road. Like, do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes. And I didn't see it today. And I thought that the quarterback play was much, much, much better.
You at least got to evaluate some of the things we were talking about, right? Like Mechie, another good day. A.D. Mitchell had 2 catches, but he averaged over 20-plus yards of reception. So, I don't think Tyrod was extraordinary, to quote Gary, by any means. But I do think he was competent for a lot of the game. There are some things that he definitely, missed, or the sack at the end of the first half I thought was a pivotal poor play from him. But at least we got a better evaluation of some of these things. The O-line, again, playing well, I think is a positive. So there's some things, man. But again, I'm kind of with you on the head coach. I have major doubts about him. And today didn't really make me feel any better about him. I don't know if it made me feel worse about him. It's just kind of, more of the same when I think back to it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to see the first half because my little girl was busy dominating the girls in navy blue and yellow. But it's just a little frustrating to see the fact that we can't follow through, get a little bit better, and just show through. There's nothing you can do about Brees fumbling inside the 10. There's nothing you can do about that. But this was a close game. They're not as good as they have traditionally been. It's something where you would like for a team within its development to show that they are getting there, and they didn't do it. So
neither did Engstrom, by the way, and that's not great.
Some of the calls were not great today. That's true. I see you're home on the island.
I am.
How was the wedding?
The wedding was a lot of fun. Richie started the jet chant at one point, right in the middle of dinner, which was hilarious. And we got video of it, and Matt is up on the dais. You can see him in the background, joining it. So that was funny. Cocktail hour was great. Venue was awesome. I actually had a previous wedding that I was at about a year and a half ago at that spot. So super convenient. And Matt and Taylor crushed it. I think everyone had a good time. So that was the highlight of the weekend from a Jet standpoint, going to a Jet YouTuber's wedding with other Jet YouTubers, because the game today was pretty nondescript if we're really thinking back to it.
All the best to Matt and his bride, and it looks like Bean had trimmed his beard to make it very special for the occasion.
He did. And by the way, shout out to Mrs. Green Bean and Mrs. Ryan, Jets Talk 24/7. They were great to hang out with. Or Richie, he's not engaged or married or anything, but Bella, Richie, Jets Media, Mrs. Jets Media, Miss Jets Media, however you want to describe her. She was great. So ton of fun to be there. Jets Chaos doing his thing. Our guy Jeremy. So it was fun. I wish the team wasn't 2-8, 2-9 going into this wedding. It would have been a lot more fun, I'm sure.
No, it's a great thing for people who are in the broader spectrum of the Jets, caring about the Jets. So today aside, it's a great thing that that Kansas City won. Let's take that. That's all we can do, right?
Find the small victories where we can get them, you know.
I'll talk to you soon.
Kyle, excellent call as always. That's it. Yeah. You know, it's funny. I know the Colts ended up losing, obviously. I wasn't even thinking about that watching the game. Hey, shout out to Leon who says I was looking pretty sharp at the wedding. It looks like I lost weight. I've actually gained weight, man. I'm trying to lose weight. It's hard when you go to a wedding and there's mashed potatoes bar and all this good food. All right, everyone, say goodbye to Chloe because she's jetted out. I can tell. Chloe, say goodbye. Everyone loves you. All right, everyone loves you, especially everyone that's watching the Addy show. All right, here you go, Chloe. Goodbye. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh, Chloe, hold on. Your leg is trapped on my mic. Don't move. This will end the postgame show early. Hold on, Chloe. There we go. Good job. All right. She jumped like into like my mic, like one of these like cord, and if she kept going, she was gonna completely like rip my little podcast kid here. Peacebreaker says she's a good puppy. She is. She absolutely is. Let's see. BC says, I thought the defense played very well. Lamar made them look bad a number of times. Where is this? The defense played very well coming from? Lamar was clearly compromised today. Like, did they force a turnover? Did they put a ton of pressure on him? Did Jamie Sherwood not miss a sack? Right? Like, were there not some communication issues? They not have some bad penalties in this? Like Tony Adams. What is Tony Adams doing on the play, by the way, where he's acting all upset and surprised that they called pass interference on him? Like, dude, you blatantly interfered on the Ravens player there. I don't know. Was this a horrific Jet defense performance? No. You know, this wasn't the Cowboys game, right? This wasn't the Bills game. But I didn't think the defense was that great. The Ravens offense was bad. They had some drops today. Lamar is unhealthy too. Like, once again, one of my best friends is a Ravens YouTuber. Used to do pre and post for them. Bobby Trossett. He's been a guest on the show. Like the reality is the storyline from this game, from a Ravens angle, is it starts and ends with Lamar being more banged up than previously thought. Like, that's what the Ravens fans are talking about from this game. Like, this defense just broke an NFL record for most games to start a year without an interception. Like, what are we talking about? Were they better today? Sure. Were they great? No. Did they play well today? I wouldn't even go that far. I mean, they still allowed 23 points. And they didn't force a turnover. They didn't have enough sacks. They didn't make that game-changing play. Ralph says, Brady Cook, please. I think we're going to get Brady Cook at some point, Ralph. I don't think that some point is yet. It's coming, though. Paul wants to know what breed is Chloe. She is a cockapoo. CJ says, one forced turnover through 11 games. How do we even stumble into additional turnovers? I mean, it's the same thing that we've been talking about for the entire season. It makes no freaking sense.
Did they ever force a damn turnover?
No, they do not, Joe. No, they do not. M123. Jets are also cockapoo. Well played, sir. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, is that it for the postgame show? Well, I want to remind you that we are going to be live with Joe B tomorrow morning. We will be bringing you live content all throughout the week. I had a great interview with Matt Miller from ESPN today. He is the draft guru for ESPN, and he's the guy that put out that mock draft, the first one that we discussed, where the Jets traded up for the number one pick and took Fernando Mendoza. So I'm going to post that interview on the channel for you guys to listen to, because I thought Matt made some really interesting points and provided a really good breakdown on some of these quarterbacks. All our eyes are going to be on the draft, folks. As of 6:20 p.m. Eastern, here's where the Jets would be picking if the season ended today. They'd be at number 3. Do I think they finish at number 3? I do not, because I think they're going to win a couple games. But we will have plenty to discuss with this, as we all can imagine. On that note, I just want to thank you guys, the audience. You guys are the best. Wouldn't be able to do the show year-round without you. Thanks to the listeners who I met last night at the O'Leary wedding as well. A couple people came up to me that are friends of Matt that watch all the other Jet YouTube shows. So that was fun. Again, just want to thank the audience. You guys are the best. We're back tomorrow with our usual full volume of 2 shows, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. I would tell you better days are ahead, but how do any of us know that at this point, right? We don't know. But we'll be here every step of the way. Win or lose, we're all in this together. So again, thank you to all the great Jet fans, all the Asmaniacs who tune in and support the show. I will talk to you guys soon. I leave you, though, with a video that needs to be played on a day like today. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy something we call greatness personified. The greatness that is the Asmaniacs. Go Jets.
Down in Tampa where the sun beats down, Jake Asman's a king wearing his birthday crown. Fireman Ed's got the chant in his alarms, and Earl Christie's here where the legends are sung. We may not win, but we'll make it right. Green and white storm in the Florida night. As maniacs unite, let's paint this town from the bay to the sky. We'll never back down. Rick and Dave steal the show. Hearts on fire, 4%ers bring the heat, lifting us higher. Tampa's turning green tonight as maniacs unite. Tailgates roar, the beer flows cold. Stories of battles both new and old. The Jets might stumble, but we'll stand tall. In this wild green army, we answer the call. The stadium's loud, the flags take flight. We're here to party, not just for the fight. As maniacs unite, let's paint this town from the bay to the sky. We'll never back down. Rick and Dave steal the show. Hearts on fire, 4%ers bring the heat, lifting us higher. Tampa's turning green tonight as maniacs unite. Town from the bay to the sky, we'll never back down. Rick and Dave steal the show. Hearts on fire, 4%ers bring the heat, lifting us higher. Tampa's turning green tonight as maniacs unite.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.